The NPM worm that everyone scrambled to fight last year just did something completely new. It jumped ecosystems and it's now showing up in Go packages. And the nasty part is how it's actually getting in. It's planting malicious hooks into things like your Claude Code setup and your VS Code tasks. Today, we're going to cover three things: a recap of what the worm actually is, a breakdown of what changed in this new wave, and a list of things that you can do today to stay secure. And we've covered the NPM supply chain attack several times on this channel, so subscribe to Better Stack if you don't want to miss an important update. If you missed it the first time, Shai-Hulud is a self-replicating worm that lives in package registries. Here's how it works. You install a poison package, it runs on install, and then scans your machine for secrets. It's looking for things like NPM tokens, GitHub tokens, AWS, GCP, and Azure keys, SSH keys. It even runs TruffleHog, a tool designed to protect organizations by finding exposed keys so you can rotate them. But in this case, it's being used maliciously so the attacker can grab those secrets for themselves. Then it uses your stolen NPM tokens to publish poisoned versions of your NPM packages, which infects the next person, meaning there's no attacker in the loop. It spreads automatically, and that's why it's called a worm and not just malware. It first hit in September 2025, then came back bigger in November, and in 2026, a group calling themselves Team PCP open sourced the whole thing and ran a contest for the biggest attack. So now there are copycat waves constantly. Now there's a brand new wave which the security firm socket.dev flagged at the end of June, and two things are different. First off, it jumped ecosystems. It didn't just appear in another NPM package, it actually appeared in a Go module called the Varana blockchain project. But this is not actually infecting Go packages directly. Nothing in Go's tooling actually ran it. What actually shipped was a source archive with a bunch of JavaScript files hidden within it. It contained a .claude folder and a .vs code folder to execute code as hooks when other commands are run. There's a settings.json with a Claude Code session start hook, and also a tasks.json with a VS Code folder open task that runs node claude.setup.mjs. So the malware can fire the moment you open a folder or start a coding session. From there, it decodes and stages its real payload through bun. It grabs your .m file and then every credential it can find, and even checks if you're running things like CrowdStrike, Defender, and Sentinel-1 before it goes to work. Just sit with that for a second. Your ignore scripts flag no longer works because no install scripts ran, and npm uninstall no longer works because the malicious code doesn't live in your node modules. It now lives in your project config. For years, the advice has been to watch your dependencies, but now the target has moved. It's not your app's dependencies anymore, it's the dev environment itself. And if you don't notice, you could be pushing malicious code to production to run in CI environments like GitHub workflows. So of course, that all sounds terrifying, but here are the things you can actually do today to remain safe and secure. Don't just lean on the ignore scripts flag as your safety net. That only covers install hooks, and this new wave sidesteps that completely. Treat Claude, VS Code, and GitHub workflows as executable code because they are. When you clone a repo or pull a dependency source, actually look at those files before you open your project in your coding editor. 3 is in VS Code, keep automatic tasks turned off. That's the task manage automatic task command, so a folder open task can't run without you saying yes. 4 is to use short-lived and least privileged tokens and relying on things like OIDC rather than having long-lived tokens in your environment. If a token can't be stolen and reused, then that means the worm can't replicate through you. And 5 is in your CI to put egress filtering on your runners, so if some malicious code does execute, it at least cannot send those credentials to the attacker. And for those not familiar, using GitHub as an example CI, egress refers to sending data out of GitHub's networks, so you would set up a whitelist and only allow requests to go to where you permit. This would stop the malicious code in its tracks. Now, I know all of this sounds pretty terrifying, but if we all just follow best practices, like setting a minimum release age in npm-rc, only using short-lived tokens, disabling automatic hooks, and storing sensitive data in things like password managers, then we're far less likely to fall victim. If you want to learn more about security, then we've just released a video covering a free alternative to Burp Suite. I've been Warren from Better Stack. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.